So in this one, we're actually going to set up a regular URL expression to be a little bit more dynamic so it can have a actual shortcode come through and we can see what that shortcode is. Before I do that, I want to show you an error that is common to potentially happen if you're using an Django 1.10 but using this old URL patterns stuff. So if you come into our urls.py and you do what we used to do in Django, which is writing out a URL by saying just some random URL, so the actual regular expression doesn't matter, but then saying shortener.views.cur redirect view. This is how we used to write our URLs. And if I save that and I look at my terminal, I get this, right? So this error doesn't actually tell me a whole lot. But the main thing here is you can no longer write this sort of string and have it assume where it's going to go. This is a change to 1.10 that you didn't see in other ones. So instead, you have to actually import that view. Now, the documentation, this is something I definitely don't recommend. The documentation says from shortener, import views. That is, import the entire views module from shortener. And then come down here, and instead of doing this list, we would do something more like, let's copy and paste that, and I'll comment this one out. You would do something more like views.redirect view. Now, the reason I also do not agree with this is because if you create another app, you'll do another app.views, import views. Now you have two views imports. That's not a good idea. And also it's not that efficient. So this is way more efficient because we're only importing the views that we want and need. So those are a couple notes that I just wanted to bring to mind for you guys. And we'll say do not do. And that is obviously for the stuff below. And do not do as well. Okay, cool. So that is getting that out of the way. And again, on the actual regular expression guide, we are 100% going to change this. So by the time you're watching this, the live version will be a corrected version. So what we're doing here is we're actually going to scroll down to one called slug. So if we look at the regular expressions for slug, we see that it has something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that regular expression. And I'm going to replace my cur redirect views, both of them, with that slug regular expression in between the caret and the /$. So now I have this in here as our new regular expression. Again, I do recommend that you check out Python regex to check out the regular expression. And of course, that's on, or check out and learn more about Python regular expressions on joincv.com/project. But even if you don't know and understand completely how regular expressions work, that's why this guide's here, so you can actually have stuff that works fine for you. So we now have this URL here, and it has something called a regular expression, which means we can do a lot with it. So if we jump back into our view, I can actually print out in our view. So let's print out args, and then we'll print out keyword args, and we'll do that for both of them. So I'm going to print out args and print out keyword args. Okay, so we've got those down, and let's go back into our actual page here, and I'm going to refresh, and now that page not found goes away and it says hello. So if I actually change it, let's refresh in here, and we can change it multiple times. So if we look into what's being printed out, it's actually printing out what's going on here. Now I actually made a little slight error in testing this, and I'll just say a/ and then b/, so we can see both of the URL redirects views. So I save that, and I come back in here and I do a/, that's now my other one, and if I do b/, that's my other one, right? That's the two different views, function and class. And we see that inside of our keyword arguments, we know it's keyword arguments because it comes through as a dictionary. Our keyword arguments have slug in there and whatever the slug value is. So the reason that happens is because we named this slug value. We can name it whatever we want. In our case, we want it to be called shortcode. We don't want it to be called slug. It should be called shortcode. So we refresh, and now in here we see that our shortcode has that name, or whatever that value is. So whatever we change this to, it matches whatever pattern is here or here, and then that pattern goes to the corresponding view with some data. In this case, that data is the keyword argument. It also comes with request data, so if you did print request.user or print request.user.is authenticated, it actually brings those things through. That's the default action from Django itself. So there's definitely stuff that we could do there, but I'm going to leave those out for another time. But it is something to know that is absolutely there. And since the shortcode is coming through as a keyword argument, we can actually go inside of our URLs here, as well as our get function, or excuse me, our function-based view, as well as our class-based view. We can actually come in here and say shortcode equals to, and I'll just say none. And this is our actual shortcode value that's going to be set because it's a keyword argument. If it wasn't a keyword argument, we could just do shortcode and just do it like that. The reason I set it equal to none is so errors don't occur if there's something wrong with the shortcode. So I have shortcode equals to none. In other cases, you will see something like this, but let's do shortcode equals to none on both of these. Save it. And now when we refresh and run it, we see that our keyword args and our actual arguments they're empty now, and that's true for both of them. So what we can do now instead is just print out the shortcode. All right, so we can print out the shortcode on either one. So we save that and we refresh, and now that shortcode's coming through. So I can actually use this shortcode, and I'm just going to use some string substitution here by doing shortcode and then .format shortcode equals to shortcode. So of course this is, well, let's just call it SC there, just to make it less confusing. I'm going to copy this same thing, bring it down here, and we'll say hello again. Go, and we no longer need to print it because now our response actually will come through with whatever code is here. And we do that again, and we say, hi, my name is Justin, whatever. All of those things are coming through, so it makes it a little bit more dynamic as to how our URLs and the URL patterns are working. So we're going to leave it here, and I want you to test what's going on with these actual URLs and the patterns that are associated to it. And I do want you to test by using the common URL or regular expression guide. Of course, that's on joincfe.com/guides. That will redirect you to our GitHub guides. And then you want to look for the common Django URL regular expressions. And in here, I want you to play with some of these other regex functions. That is something that you're going to want to get comfortable with and see how all of these things work. And if this stuff's interesting to you, definitely check out that other project, like I've said 1,000 times. Okay, cool. So we're going to leave it here. And in the next one, we're going to pick up where we left off to actually start doing stuff with that shortcode value that's coming through. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, let's keep going.